You know, the great lesson of anthropology is the idea that the world into which you were born doesn't exist in some absolute sense, but is just one model of reality, the consequence of one particular set of adaptive choices that your lineage made, however successfully, many generations ago. And the other peoples of the world aren't failed attempts at being you, or in our case, failed attempts at modernity. They are by definition unique facets of the human imagination. And when asked the meaning of being human, they respond with 6,000 different voices. And those voices collectively become the human repertoire for dealing with the challenges that will confront us in the ensuing millennia. You know, we always have this idea of our society as not being really a culture, but being the real world, and these other cultures are outside there. Those are the cultures. But that kind of cultural myopia we really can no longer afford. And, you know, we aren't the real inexorable wave of history. We're just another set of possibilities. We're just another cultural reality with choices that we've made. And that's why in the whole realm of child rearing and education, I think it behooves us to look at models of enculturation, of initiation, of bringing children to the realm of adulthood that other societies have celebrated and developed over thousands of years of experience. Education is not simply the transmission of information. It's by definition the transmission and indeed the enculturation, or one could say more harshly, the indoctrination of a child into a certain way of knowing, a way of learning, a way of being. And again, when we project our notions of what education is or what a way of being is overseas into other people's lives, we forget that we're projecting just something that we made up, right? And one of the things that I see in my work is that different ways of knowing, different ways of being, different ways of learning really create different human beings. If you're raised in Colorado to believe that a mountain is an inert pile of rock waiting to be mined, you're going to have a very different relationship to that mountain from a kid from southern Peru who believes in the fiber of his being that a mountain is an Apu spirit, a protective deity that will direct his destiny throughout life. Now, the interesting observation is not whether that mountain is in fact a spirit or whether it's just a pile of dirt. The interesting observation is how the education system into what that mountain is creates a different human being with a different relationship to the earth. I was raised in the forests of British Columbia to believe that those forests existed to be cut. That was the foundation of the ideology of scientific forestry that I was taught in school and my practice as a logger in the woods. It was based on the idea that we had to eliminate all the old growth to get some healthy plantations growing in their wake, because after all, the incremental addition of cellulose would be higher in a plant. I mean, but this was a construct. But critically, that belief system made me a very different human being with a very different relationship to that forest than my friends from native communities who believed that that forest was the abode of Hukuk and the crooked beak of heaven. Because of my ideology, my education, those forests no longer